want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
We are the Mad Men of Masculinity.
Your home for healthy masculinity. We're just real men having real conversations for you.
Good day, Mad Men Mafia.
That's right. I am Kirk M. Samuels.
And I do be Jason B. Kendrick.
And together we are the Mad Men of Masculinity.
That's right. We're just real men having real conversations for you.
Hey, man, I'm about to get another. I'm about to get another tattoo, man. This is my first tattoo.
Yeah, I told you they were addictive, man. It happens.
No, probably. I think it's this weekend, this Sunday. I'm getting a matching tattoo with my son, with RJ.
Well, see that's advisable. That's cool.
Yeah.
That would have never happened with my dad. So that's cool. You doing that?
Yeah, we had talked about it for a while, and then we were gonna do it over the summer, and it just didn't work out. And so now he's actually, if he's not on the plane, he's about to get on the airplane to fly out here tonight, and he'll be out here for a week or so. And so we're like, all right, we're gonna do it this time. So yeah, my second tattoo, probably my last one.
We shall see.
That's what he said. It's gonna be a matching tattoo with him, so that'll be cool.
That's cool. That's cool.
I saw that. I was like, I'm getting it on this arm.
Nice. So you be both arms going.
Yeah, because you know what, man, I'm changing. I'm changing, man. You know, the only thing constant in life is change.
Why you gotta steal my line? That was my line. I was gonna say that.
I knew you were going to, man. So I took it. But no, man. I mean, when I hit the big 5-0, I was like, and then 5-1, I was like, man, I'm gonna do something, man. I'm gonna do something that I've not done before. So that was the genesis of the first one, and then me and my son are pretty close, and so that then the idea to get, and he's got a bunch of them. Of course, he's in the Navy. He's got a bunch of tattoos. And so anyhow, point is, for half of my life, I was like, well, most of my life up to now, I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not getting a tattoo. And then as you get older, as life moves on, and as you progress, and as you grow in every kind of way, you change, man. And that's one of the things that's just constant in life, man. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yep. And not only are we going to talk about change, the number one constant in life being change, but we're also going to talk about how to be grateful during change, because it's going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, change is going to happen. And if you have gratitude, I think that's one of the things that we're losing nowadays in modern culture, is that we have this affinity, this obsession with youth and staying young and trying to stay the same and just being that same version of ourselves in our 20s, that we don't embrace the fact that change is good. Change is a good thing. And when we have gratitude for the fact that we're aging, and because age is experience, age means you hopefully you learn something as you get older. And so you can share what you've learned with the younger generation. However, if you're still trying to be the younger generation, so you're competing with the younger generation, you don't have the gratitude or the even the awareness that, hey, change is happening. Sorry, it's happening.
Yeah. And that goes for, man, just all kinds of things, in this, I'm realizing anyway, in this kind of phase of life, there's just been a lot of change, man, the past year or so, went from single to engaged to married to, my son's 21, and, all the kids getting older, and, truth be told, I haven't said much about it, but, I'm about to be a grandpa in a few months. I'm about to be I don't even know what I'm gonna go by, but I'm about to be a grandfather for the first time. Careers change. As much as sometimes we like things to stay the same, the reality is, it just doesn't happen that way, man. And so when they happen, sometimes it can be uncomfortable. Sometimes it can be challenging. Sometimes it can, it cannot be fun. And so sometimes we hold on to the norm and the stability and the comfort and all those kinds of things. But, when you go through some kind of metamorphosis in life, man, you got to find moments and opportunities and a different perspective to be able to focus on to stay thankful, man. And again, as we record this, is the week of Thanksgiving, and so it's a great time to reflect on
Yeah, I mean, we tend to think of gratitude in terms of, oh, let's look back on what we can be thankful for, what we can have gratitude for the past year, for the past week, whatever. I don't think we spend a lot of time thinking about how can I be grateful for the changes and what's coming up, because if we have gratitude for the changes, they tend to be easier. It tends to become an adventure. It tends to become a challenge. It tends to become something that's positive. When we resist the change, that makes it uncomfortable. I mean, when you want to go to the gym and get healthy, that's uncomfortable because you're changing from sedentary, sitting on your butt couch potato to getting up to the gym and then, getting sore and having to change your diet, change your routine, change everything about it. Except in that change, usually we're pretty grateful for it because we know it's a change for the better. However, we can actually make most changes for the better if we have gratitude for the fact that we're changing. It's just we've been so indoctrinated in this, let's hang on to the past and oh, this is uncomfortable, that means it's wrong. No, discomfort is just something new. If you learn a new skill, it's going to be uncomfortable because it's new. It's a new skill. You don't have the neural pathways yet. You haven't learned whatever this, muscle memory is yet. So it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be weird. You're going to feel like a duck on roller skates at first. But if you're grateful for the fact that you're learning something new, which I think a lot of us get to a point in our lives, especially as we age, we're like, oh, now I'm the expert, I'm the elder. And we stop growing, or we think we should stop growing because now, oh, well, I'm the elder now, I'm good. It's like, no, we're constantly growing and changing. We just sometimes, and for most people, I believe, don't have a grateful heart when it comes to change. They're too busy resisting it.
that. As we get to be men of a certain age,
I
and
like that.
this happens, at least for me anyway, it was somewhat intentional that, for November, I kind of grew out the facial hair and that sort of thing. And every time I do that, there's more and more hairs that are not black or brown. There's more and
You got
more,
those negative
uh,
hairdos.
yeah, more and more, they call them gray hairs, but they're really white. I mean, I don't know
Mhm.
what the deal. Maybe people just trying to be in denial. But anyhow, point is, there's like more and more of them, and I actually trimmed down. But you know, and so kind of one of the things that's constant in change is getting older, and we complain a lot about getting older. We complain, um, we complain about the gray hairs. We complain about, whatever, receding hair. I don't know, all the different things that come along with getting older. Being sore, you can throw out your back by putting on a t-shirt. I mean, you can just think about something and pull a muscle. I mean,
Mhm.
all of these kind of things, man. And you know, and even in that, man, the reality is, getting older is a whole lot better than the opposite. It's a whole lot better than not getting older no more, because that means you're on the wrong side of the grass. And so, there's a whole lot of people that wish they saw, whatever age you're at now, whoever you are, you universal. Um, and so, to be thankful in that is to be thankful for that, to be thankful for the opportunity, because in all of the change in life, one thing that's always present is opportunity. And a lot of times opportunities um, really only have a value or meaning based on how we look at that opportunity. Whether we see it as a negative opportunity or we see it as a positive opportunity. But generally speaking, you know, maybe you can almost look at every opportunity as a positive opportunity. Because if it's an opportunity, that means there's more than one outcome, more than one way this should go or could go. And in that, it's like, man, maybe this could be better than it used to be.
Yeah, I think having that attitude of gratitude really makes you more prone to taking advantage of opportunities because you see it as an opportunity. You're being present in the moment and going, "Oh, this is an opportunity for growth. This is an opportunity to learn something. This is just an opportunity in general." And I think when we're in that pessimistic, resistant mindset of, "Oh, I'm good the way I am. I don't need to learn anything else," or I'm resistant to change. then we're closed down to the opportunities. And I think that's one of the things, even as we get to a certain age as men, we sometimes have a detrimental mindset because, like, well, I know that. Well, the unfortunate thing about when you say or even think that I know, you shut down to opportunity, you shut down the possibility of learning. So being open to continually learning and growth and change as we get older, I think is a very beneficial thing that we could definitely be grateful for. Like, hey, I'm not in the ground yet. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. There's still more for me to gain. There's still more wisdom to get. There's still more experiences to have. Except when we're resistant to that change, we're resistant to getting older, resistant to the grays and the the experiences that we may be or may not be having. I mean, that tends to put us in that negative mindset, which, you can look around. I mean, people look at us and are surprised at our age. Well, maybe because of our attitude of gratitude or the fact that we're staying present in the moment and doing the things to be as healthy as we can be, it makes us less aged, if you will. Maybe we haven't soured yet. Maybe we're just, maturing like fine wine.
Yeah. And I'd rather mature like fine wine than mature like beer or milk. Um, and and so even to say, you want to mature or age, there's again, there's different ways to look at that and to put that in perspective. But when you have the opportunities, man, we have opportunities in life, and some of these opportunities present as challenges. Some of them present as obstacles. Some of them present as like a battle or something you got to fight or something you got to go through. And and let's be honest, sometimes life does suck, man. Sometimes you do get, speaking of guys, sometimes you do get kicked in the nuts by life, man. And sometimes, it happens like that. And we got to roll with it when we do. But I will say, one of the things I've learned in 51, almost 52 years of life is that, even when you have a setback, there's a whole lot of opportunity in that setback. There's a setup for a get up, and there's a whole lot of opportunities to bounce back. And really a lot of opportunities to maybe even bounce back better than you were before, better than you had it before. You could lose a job, you can lose a relationship, you can lose, a lot of things, and then ultimately, end up with something that is more fulfilling to you, that is more of a blessing to your life, even in that obstacle or that setback or that challenge. But man, a lot of it is totally perspective. A lot of it is totally, how you see that thing. And speaking of seeing things, I know there's one thing we better see right now.
We better see ourselves a break.
We're gonna see us a break. We'll be right back. Madman and Masculinity on KLDC. Nice. Something to drink.
I got the timer. I'm gonna do the timer thing.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
I think we are going to try to come up there Friday.
Okay.
I think Frisco is probably a more straight shot than going up to Fraser.
Yeah.
Going up to Winter Park and Fraser.
Yeah.
Don't got to go over the mountain.
Well, you got to go through the pass, but I mean, you go through the tunnel, but that you want to show her the tunnel anyway. And then you come down, you get to see the lake and everything, and then you're only like 10 minutes from Breckenridge. Anyway, I get off about 4, so we'll hook it up, chop it up.
Word.
Ready?
Here we go. Yep.
And
we're back. Yeah, yes, that's right. That's right.
In stereo.
We all the way back. We back like Superman's cape. we back like fatback. You don't even know what fatback is, do you?
And fatback is that belly part of the pig with the extra fat on the bacon.
You did grow up in the South, didn't you?
And
you grew up in the South, man.
Put hair on your back. I mean your chest.
Dude, my neighborhood we used to grow up in, my grandmother lived a few doors down from the neighborhood store, which was in the middle of the block, and she used to give us, a few dollars to go down to the store and get a block of fatback. And if y'all don't know what fatback is, you can Google. Well, we would go and we would bring the fatback home, and she would put it in some greens or put it in, some string beans or something like that. She would use it for the flavoring. But man, we used to go down there and just get a little brick of white fatback. It was no meat in it, literally just the fat off a pig's back, man. And so, but I digress.
That's tasty. It's tasty. That's a good
that,
tasty
that's
drink right
that's
there, man.
that's good flavor, but man, it's bad for you. No,
You
no
know, you
doubt,
ain't gotta
man.
eat it all the time every day, but you know, sometimes that little flavor is
Yeah,
good
that's
for you.
true. You need a little flavor in life, man. You need, sometimes, man. Sometimes you got to sacrifice the benefit for the flavor.
Yeah. Well, you
Life is
know,
just like that sometimes, man. I mean,
I
sometimes you got to
mean,
eat dessert first.
yeah. I mean, life is about change. You know, sometimes you just got to
Yeah.
shake it up. You got to shake it up and do something different. And I think, especially with this episode, talking about a guide to gratitude amidst change, when you have that attitude of gratitude and you're not in resistance, you actually, because I mean, back to your point about opportunities, every moment, every day, something's happening, some event's happening. And it's up to you to see the opportunities in that event. Because I mean, even a car accident or a flat tire could be an opportunity. You never know why you ran into that person or why you got a flat tire right there. Like you might end up meeting somebody who can end up being, an angel in disguise or, a new business opportunity or something like that. But when we're in resistance, when we're in that arguing with reality, and I think that's the thing, when you have gratitude, you're present. So you're not arguing with what's happening. You're like, oh, what's this? This is an opportunity for something new to happen. This is opportunity for something, to go to be different than what I thought, except when we're in resistance. And when we're in resistance, we're just arguing with reality, going, well, this shouldn't be this way. Well, guess what it is? I shouldn't have a flat tire. Well, you do. I shouldn't be overweight. Well, you are. I shouldn't be this or that. Well, you are. So stop arguing with reality and decide to make a change for the better. But when you're in resistance and arguing with reality, it's really hard to make that change for the better.
That's the serenity prayer, man.
Mm.
The things that you can change, you change, and the things you can't, you roll with it. You roll with it. You pray about it. You do whatever you got to do. But some things you can change, and you change the things that you can't. But not everything in our life is changeable. Not everything in our life is something that we can wish away, or we can, any of those kinds of things, man. A lot of things in our life, man. Some things happen to us. I found that more often than not, even the things that happen to me end up happening for me. Um, that even in those things, and to your point, you don't know what you were saved from by the thing that interrupted your day. You don't know that flat tire really saved you from that car that ran that red light. You don't know that this challenge kind of kept you away from some other challenge. And so, in the big picture, man, you gotta roll with the things you can, and the things that roll over you. And you still gotta find a way to assume or believe, or whatever you want to call it, that something beneficial or something positive is going to come out of it, and thereby being thankful for that thing, and if nothing else, being thankful that it could have been worse.
Mm. Yeah, I think that comes down to a lot of times when we don't have a spiritual practice, when we don't think of something that's greater than ourselves, that there's some orchestrator out there, some creator of the universe that's actually has our best interests at heart. A lot of times when we think we're just isolated, especially as men nowadays, we think we're isolated, we're on an island, and everything's just happening to us. We miss all those opportunities. We miss all the things that we could be grateful for because we have such a negative mindset. But when we adopt a more grateful mindset, we realize that there's something that created us that's greater than us, that is maybe guiding us, and we can look at it from that perspective. Because yeah, a lot of times when things happen to us, it can look like skies falling, chicken little, like, oh, if I didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck at all, kind of thing. But when you think about maybe something greater than ourselves, a higher intelligence that may be working for us and to our benefit, then you can start looking at these things like, oh well, this looks bad on the surface, but maybe it is something better. Maybe there is something in this for me to learn, to gain, to grow from. And you can get that attitude by looking at your life and keeping it simple. A lot of times I think we get pessimistic, we get resistant because we try to complicate things. We as human beings love to make everything so complicated. Let's simplify things. Just look at, like, I woke up today, I'm breathing, I've got water, I got food, I got clothes, I got a house, I got a car to drive. Like all of these things are things to be grateful for. But when we're in the rat race, when we're in that pessimistic mindset, then it's, oh well, so and so has this bigger house, they got a better car, they got a plane, I just got a motor scooter. Like we can always compare, but comparison is the enemy of greatness, and the enemy of contentment. So let's maybe try during this holiday season to find things to be grateful for, and then even maybe take the 10,000 foot view and go, well, maybe I don't understand this now, but maybe later, hindsight's 2020, this will make sense, and I'll be like, oh wow, I could have been grateful that in the moment, even not knowing what it was going to be.
I make it a practice when something smacks me in the face or kicks me in the butt. Two things. I make a practice to say, first of all, this wasn't a surprise to God, right? Secondly, I say, if it's something that is not positive, I say that somebody wishes they had this problem.
Hmm.
And even the backside of that is, one day I'm gonna wish that this was my only problem or my biggest problem.
Yeah.
You know, there's people who, um, whose long-term spouse is not going to make it to Thursday to see Thanksgiving. I know someone's whose wife passed away day before Thanksgiving a couple of years ago. And so, there there's people with all kinds of challenges out there, and that's not to minimize the fact that that I or that you may have a challenge, or that that this ain't fun, or this is tough, whatever it is that you're going through. Um, but again, I mean, somebody wishes that that phone call you got from the doctor was the phone call they got from the doctor. Their phone call was way worse. Et cetera, et cetera. And so, yeah, those two things I try to keep in mind. First of all, this wasn't a surprise to God. Second of all, um, somebody wishes they had this problem or my problems.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to, I mean, there's so many tools you can use, but there's like the 5-5-5 rule. If this 5 minutes isn't going to matter in 5 years, then don't spend 5 seconds worrying about it. Life things happen, and you can move on. And when you start developing an attitude of, life happens for me, not to me, then it's much easier when these bad things, quote unquote, bad things happen, divorce, losing a job. You can definitely switch. I know, and I've been through that situation where I lost a job once and I just resisted it and I couldn't believe this happened to me and how could they, and I was blaming and pointing fingers and projecting. And then the next time it happened to me, I was like, well, this is for the best. Something better is going to happen. And then within a couple of days, I had a better job with a better pay and this and that. And so it doesn't matter necessarily what happens, because it's all perspective. Anything that happens to you is just perspective. It depends on what you decide to make it, what meaning you decide to put on it. Because life is innocuous. Nothing has meaning inherently. It's just you decide what it means for you, and you can decide that even bad things, or quote unquote bad things that happen to you, are happening for the best. It may not make sense now, but maybe later it'll make sense. You're like, oh, I mean, there's so many people that we know, that we talk to, that we've worked with, that had they not had that horrific thing happen to them, they would not be where they are today. And so they say that was the best thing that ever happened to me, that horrific thing, because it led me down this path to get to where I am today. So we never know. And sometimes it's up to us just to go, hey, I don't know what this is, but it's going to happen. It's for the best. We'll just see what that best is.
Right now I'm thinking about failed relationships in my past.
Mm.
I'm thinking about the two times that I walked out of a courtroom, and I was single, and I walked into the courtroom as part of a marriage. Um, and even just what those processes look like of getting a divorce, it just tears you apart in every kind of way. I also remember a day where I had my heart broken tremendously, like it's never been broken before. I remember just a lot of the valleys in terms of relationship paths. Um, and I can also say that if I had not gone through those valleys, I wouldn't be the man that I am today, to be able to experience relationship in a completely different way. And no relationship is perfect. Our relationship's not perfect. Um, but at the same time, um, my ability to deal with adversity in relationship, my ability to have different perspective, a different way of looking at things is totally different. But I'm almost thankful, really. I'm almost thankful for the relationship failures that I had in the past because it made me who I am today, and my ability to relate, my ability to connect, my ability to be a man in a relationship. Like I've always been a boy in a relationship, and so now I'm able to experience relationship from a different perspective, and I'm almost thankful for
Hmm. Well, I think that's one of the reasons we want to do this episode is to kind of encourage guys to look back and be grateful for the challenges and be grateful for those things that were quote unquote bad that happened in your life and look at it as a catalyst maybe, or the secret sauce that made you who you are today. Because if those things hadn't happened, and everything that happens to us is part of the recipe, the gumbo that makes us who the unique individual that we are. And when we can look back with gratitude, say, oh, you know what? I'm glad that she left me, or I'm glad I lost that job, or I'm glad that this happened because that led to this thing and that thing and the next thing. And so sometimes those kicks in the nuts that we, think are bad can be just the kick in the butt that we needed to become the man that we were supposed to be in the first place. We just needed to go through that episode, that trial and tribulation, whatever that experience was, to get to have that experience, to gain that wisdom and that knowledge and become the man that we are today. And, you know, like most things with life, change is inevitable. Speaking of change, time for a break. We're going to make a change to a break. We'll be right back.
that.
Mad Men and Masculinity right here on KODC.
Nice.
What you drinking there? You got some got some pre-workout? What's happening?
I got some water. I already did my Monday is International Chest Day. In case anybody doesn't know it,
Says you.
Monday is International Chest Day. I did my chest workout this morning, man. I got
Nice.
up in there. Matter of fact, I was awake before my alarm clock.
Look at you.
So went ahead and got up, and man, I was in the gym a little bit early today, man. I
Yeah,
even got in some extra reps and extra sets, man.
nice. I was trying to sleep in and looked at the clock at 4:30. Was like, no, I'm sleeping in. 5:30. No, I'm sleeping in. About 6, I got up. And today was International Leg Day on the mountain because I'm still getting my legs back in the snowboard shape. And Lord have mercy, my legs is tied today.
Dude, you better get some of that. You better get some of that pre-workout up in you or something. Get you some.
I did. I had my shake, man. I was ready to go, and then I didn't even eat
Yeah.
lunch or anything until about 2-3 o'clock. And I was like, I'm starving now.
I heard it was like bad snowstorms up there. Did they close I-70?
I don't think it closed I-70, but they had some wrecks and stuff. It came in pretty quick yesterday, and it's supposed to come in tonight, later tonight. Get like 5 days.
So it didn't shut down. I heard somebody got like stuck up in the mountains.
Yeah, I mean, it may have. I mean, the nice thing about living up here is the snow can come all at once. I'm still gonna get home.
Yeah. Huh.
It's
Yeah,
not so bad because I'm not that far away.
Right
All right,
on.
you ready?
Yeah. We're back.
Yes, we're
Mad
back.
Men and Masculinity,
Right here on
KLDC,
KLDC.
12:40 a.m. in the Mile High City, on the interwebs, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Holla at your boys, madmenradio.com. You can check us out YouTube, Facebook. It don't cost you a single dime, dollar, penny. It don't even cost you a full second to hit a like or to hit a subscribe. Man, I think we're up to 5,000 subscribers, something like that, over 5,000. So
We're close to
somewhere like that.
5,000. We need some more trolls.
And-
We need some more people in the comments making judgments and writing long paragraphs and stuff, because we need to get some more trolls. Maybe we need to be a little less nice, a little more edgy. I don't know.
Maybe we should controversial. I don't know.
Yeah, we need some controversy.
We need to manufacture
Changes
some
up in here.
controversy or something like that. Yeah, as it is.
All publicity is good publicity, so they say.
That's what they say. That's what they say in the world of media. But I'd like to prove that a couple guys doing some good, not causing drama. We ain't out here trying to stage nothing. We ain't out here trying to whatever. Yeah, we ain't out here doing none of that kind of stuff. I like to prove that a couple guys I watched it, man. I was traveling. I was in airports and stuff like that. But
that was the
yeah,
worst money grab. I mean, you know why Mike was biting his glove? Because he knew he should have been throttling that kid, but it wasn't in
I
the
don't know,
script.
man. Apparently, it was something that he had done in the past. But the reality is that whole thing was produced. That was
Mhm.
not like I mean, that wasn't like I mean, it was a quote unquote sanctioned event, but it wasn't like a promoted like a traditional. It was produced
Yeah.
by James Paul's production company. I
Yes.
mean, so basically, I mean, it was a glorified YouTube event.
Yep.
Um, I mean, and so, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, it's all about the money grab. It's all about getting
Mhm.
paid. I mean, it's all about creating hype and spectacle so that we can get paid, whoever it is. And
Mhm.
so that was a produced event, and it worked. I mean, apparently
Well,
they made a whole
they
lot of
made
money.
they made lots of
Neither one
money
of them
because
got
we
knocked
all
out. Neither one of them got hurt. And the
because it was
producer of the
scripted
event
and
won. The
yeah,
producer of the event, quote unquote, won by
yeah,
decision.
because
So
the whole thing was all of us wanted to see Mike shut the dude up and knock him
yeah,
out, but because it was scripted and it was produced, and you saw how many times he could have just knocked the kid's head off, it
yeah,
didn't happen because they danced around. He chased him around the ring. It was like, come on,
yeah.
man. But I
You
digress.
know,
We're talking about change.
I was watching this YouTube video of this guy, and he was talking about I can't think of his name, but he's like a body language guy, something like that.
Mhm.
He did kind of a breakdown of it, and I kind of like his take on it, which was, it probably wasn't necessarily fixed in terms of openly scripted, but it was definitely produced, and it was
Mhm.
definitely, I mean, it was one of those things that it's like those two, like, hey, Jake Paul said, "Hey, I'm gonna make a bunch of money. But if I meet with Mike Tyson, hey, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna jump around. We're gonna, structure it how we want to. Time limit, number of rounds. You know, I come after you some. You come after me some. Neither one of us are gonna get hurt. You ain't got to. I'm not trying to knock you out. I'm not trying to hurt you in reality, and all that kind of stuff. But hey, here's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna walk away with a boatload of money for our families,
Mhm.
and so, and
You know,
I don't know. I was texting my son. I was like, man, I don't. If I'm Mike Tyson, man, you give me $20 million, I'll get beat
mhm.
up for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't be mad about them making money, but it's just, it, it kind of flies in the face of the sport. And, it's like two guys coming in there and giving it all they got. And it was just like, and because I know myself personally, and I'm sure most people, we wanted to see Mike Tyson, like the old Mike Tyson come back. And you watch the training videos, he looked good. He looked like he was going to take his head off. And then you see the fight and you're like, where'd he go? What happened? Where's
Yeah.
he at? I guess
Well,
maybe
I
that's
mean,
part of that. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm resisting the
Again,
change of the world because I want to
you're
see Mike
resisting
Tyson
the
be Mike
and
Tyson.
the change, and even that the change in the world, even from a boxing perspective, the
Mhm.
change in that sport is not so much the sport of the athleticism to gladiators going at it in a ring. It's about spectacle, right? I mean, the whole sport changes the dynamic in that. It's about spectacle. It's about how many eyeballs can we get to watch us do this thing, and so even with that is, I mean, because you got to think about it, if it was outright scripted, I'm going to hit you, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
I mean, that's borderline illegal, right? I mean, so again, even the landscape and changing in sports. There's change on with college football and the way Coach Prime is doing it, building teams and through the portals and all that kind of stuff. And boxing with Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, it's entertainment. And so it's not so much a sport as much as it is entertainment. Um,
Well, they're doing the same thing with
Professional.
football and the NFL too. Like,
Oh you
it's not
can't
even
you
like,
can't hit certain ways, and
mhm.
all this other kind of stuff. Basketball, same thing. They got number of minutes they play and all this other kind of stuff. And even like I said, change is it's more about entertainment than sports. Even change in that realm.
Well, I mean, used to be, and yeah, sports is entertainment. That we go to the arena, we get our popcorn, we want to see the carnage, we want to see the competition, and then in the last 20 years, it's like, oh well, we can't even allow them to just compete naturally. Let's script it. because we want to have these highs and lows. Well, I mean, especially in sports, I mean, that's the most dramatic kind of thing you could watch. So why do they feel the need to script it? But I don't know. I quit watching a lot of sports for a long time ago just because I felt like, why am I spending so much time watching something that somebody else is doing? I should go out and do something myself. But I don't know. To each their own. I just wish that it was going to
Yeah,
be a natural competitive environment.
yeah.
That's one change I'm kind of resistant to because I'm like, come on, man.
But I mean, you got to think about it. Take shows like Bachelor, Bachelorette, and all this other kind of stuff. In theory, it's
Your
supposed to
favorite
be
show.
about people. It's supposed to be about people meeting their forever love and all this other kind of stuff. And in reality, it's entertainment. They even say this is the most dramatic ever. Every single one. And you probably don't watch them, so you don't know. But
No.
they always say this is the most dramatic season ever. And it's all about the hype. It's all about the entertainment factor of it all. But and if it really came down to these people um, meeting their forever love, then you would think that they would have a better success rate than just general population, right? I mean, handful of couples have stayed together after 20 something seasons of the show, kind of thing. And so it's even that we're buying into entertainment. We just are, and they got to do whatever they got to do to grab our eyeballs and our dollars from something else. And so whatever that is, man, even if it's just hyping it up so you get excited, and then, man, how often do we say, nah, whatever? It's like that burger that they show in the commercial don't never look like the one they give you when they hand you the tray over the counter. It's just like, nah. I mean,
Mhm.
they once they got you there, man, they got you. That's the change. That's a change that's happening to us in culture these
Yeah.
days.
That's a change I would like to promote is that we stop buying into so much entertainment and production and actually go out and start living our lives again and quit, turn off the TV, get outside, go actually have real conversations with people, get off social media. I mean, I'm hoping that with all this produced entertainment, sports wise and everything else, that people will start going, that's too fake. I want some real, even like with the virtual reality stuff, it's like, let's get out and actually have some reality. Why does it got to be virtual? Why we got to stay inside all day? Let's go out and actually go outside and get some exercise and breathe some fresh air and do something with our bodies instead of it being virtual all the time. I mean, that's one change I think is coming that is going to be beneficial for everybody is that we're going to finally get sick of the produced, fake, virtual entertainment that's going on and actually want to go out and live some life and have our own experiences and create some change for the better.
Yeah. Well, we totally hijacked the whole topic of this show,
We're
kinda.
still on topic. We're talking about
Um,
change,
we still
I
we
think.
we still talking about change, but
Squirrel. What happened?
I mean, and but yeah, I mean, some things in our culture, man, we can expect that, and I think that's one of the things in our culture we can expect is just the way we consume stuff and entertainment and all these other kind of things, man. But when it comes down to life, man, especially as guys, the reality is, this week can be a tough week for a lot of people. This week can be a very difficult week for a lot of people, man, because a lot of times you reflect on what you don't have anymore. You reflect on maybe being, physically alone or by yourself. Maybe you reflect on people who were here last year and not here this year. Whatever it is, the challenging year you might have had. It's a tough time for a lot of people, man, and a lot of that challenge comes in the form of change. Life is going to change. One day somebody close to you ain't going to be here the next Thanksgiving. And maybe for them it's you that ain't gonna be. But either way, there's the change in life, man. We got to find a way, even on a week where we're supposed to be thankful for the stuff that doesn't necessarily feel good all the time.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons that this episode is so important is that when we develop an attitude of gratitude towards change, then we're more present in the moment because we know change is going to happen. We know that maybe next year grandma's not going to be there or dad's not going to be there, or maybe I won't be there. So we're more present and we can take it in and be there and be more appreciative of what we do have in the moment. Because when we're so caught up in all the dramas and all the curated streams and entertainment of life, we're not able to be as present with our family members and our loved ones as maybe we could be or should be. And so having that attitude of gratitude with change and realizing that, hey, guess what, this may just be another holiday, but it's still unique to every other holiday. And if I can be present with my family and my friends and all those who are there, then when the change does happen, I can feel better about the fact that I was present and taking it in for all that it could be in that moment versus thinking about the next one or the last one or not being present there with my loved ones, because you never know, change is always happening and you never know what it could be for the next one.
And that's a great point in terms of being present, man. It's hard to, first of all, I've heard the saying over and over again, it's hard to have a bad day when you have a thankful heart. But to be thankful and have gratitude and appreciate the moment is the spark, the springboard, it's the catalyst to just being able to appreciate life in general, to be able to appreciate where you are right now, and to recognize that you come through a lot to be where you are right now. You've been through a lot to be where. I don't know anybody that hasn't had challenges in life that doesn't have. I don't know anybody that doesn't have some kind of sad story about life, and so I think perseverance and survival, all of those things are important. But in order to appreciate those things, man, you got to be in the now. You can't be in yesterday and you can't be in tomorrow. You got to be in the now.
And right now is a great time for us to take a break. So we'll be right back. We are the Madmen of Masculinity. This is KLDC. We'll see you in a minute. Boom. Boom. There we go. What you doing over there, man?
Just banging on my desk.
Okay.
Hey, I made some homemade jerky.
Oh, he ain't even sharing. Look at you. I see.
I made some homemade jerky. She bought me a air dryer or whatever you call it.
The dehumidifier or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever you call that thing. So I made some about a week ago. I made some steak and chicken. I think I like the steak better, but it was good, man.
Did you get the skirt steak and season it all up?
Man, I put I one of them with, I think, steak sauce, one of them with teriyaki, and one of them with can't think of the other one. Maybe I don't know, whatever the other kind of flavor is. And I had like 3 different flavors, and I air fried them. I marinated them, and then I air fried them, and then I dried them out. So yeah, it was. They were good, man.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Madmen's version of how to make jerky.
Boom.
Yeah. All right, let's bring it
jerky
back.
From Kirky.
Jerky from Kirky. That's a good name. We'll go ahead and package that.
It's Kirky jerky.
Nice. Wait for next year. Kirky jerky's coming to a house near you.
That's what she said. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
We're back.
Yes, we're back.
Oh man, yeah,
we some Kirky jerky on the break.
Kind of went off the rails just a little hot minute there. Yeah, Kirky jerky's coming to a store near you. I guarantee you there's some guy that
chili jerky. Yeah, that's what I need. I want to marinate sweet sauce and do some sweet chili jerky. Something. But yeah, Kirky jerky's coming to you. It's the new change in the world.
Yeah. Man, it's good, man. I loved it, man. I love this stuff. So anyhow, change, man. Even then, I'm changing, man. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to get new skills, man. I'm trying to, develop new talents, man. I'm trying to, do all these kinds of things. And so, so when it comes down to change management, which I don't even know if you can manage change. I think sometimes you just got to ride it out. But either way, you can manage your perspective. You can manage how you see it, but the actual thing that's changing, transitioning from this and this in life, think about even career changes in the past, man. When I've gotten, I've been through the scenario of being laid off from companies and that kind of stuff, man. And there was one time, man, I got laid off and I was down to I didn't have money for my next mortgage payment. and
Oh, wow.
I found a new job, and my very first paycheck was the day that the new mortgage payment, or the day of that next mortgage payment. Um, and then, all these different scenarios, man, I've noticed over the spectrum, over the course of life, over the arc of time, I'm better off than I was. I'm better off than I used to be. So, yeah, I mean, man, we can go on and on with all kinds of different scenarios and all that kind of stuff, man. But the idea is being present in the moment, being present in the experience, and being present in change is the best way to be thankful for all of those things.
Yeah, when you develop that, or even just have a mindset of, life is happening for me and not to me, that everything works out for me. When change happens, yeah, you're going to freak out. We all freak out. We have that moment like, this shouldn't be the way it is, but it is. And so you take a breath, you grab your bootstraps, you get up in the morning, you're like, all right, this is my new reality. What am I going to do with it? And then you find the blessings in that change. But like Kurt was saying, when you look back and have some gratitude and realize that things are working out for you, then yeah, things like that happen. You're like, I don't have the money to pay the mortgage, and boom, there it is. And you're like, oh, so and that's another definition that we sometimes miss, is that abundance isn't having an overabundance of things. You don't have billions in the bank, but abundance is having what you need when you need to have it. And when you have that attitude, like, hey, things just work out for me, then you don't stress. And I think that's why a lot of times not having gratitude or an attitude of gratitude towards change causes so much stress and causes people to age prematurely and causes all these extra gray hairs and male pattern baldness and heart disease, all those things, because we're so stressed out resisting the natural changes of life instead of being like, hey, I'm at this age, these are the natural changes, these are the things that happen. I can be grateful for that because that means I've, like Kirk said, made it through all these other challenges. Hey, guess what? You survived every day of your life. You survived every trauma in your life. You survived every challenge in your life up to this point. And so that's something you can be grateful for.
Abundance begins in the heart.
Mhm.
Um, it ends at your fingertips, in terms of the things you see and the things you have in the world. But abundance begins in the heart. And when
And it
you
has to.
can, well, yeah, when you can when I don't, the word manifest gets overused, but
Mhm.
when you can manufacture and when you can create a furnace of abundance in your heart, then that overflows to just even the way you see the things at your fingertips. That changes the way you experience, the things in life. And so, absolutely, man, abundance. I mean, abundance, or the abundant mindset, um, has nothing to do with money in the bank. Stuff has nothing to do with how many purses you got, how many shoes you got, how many cars you got, how many women you have. Because quite honestly, a lot of those things, you have a lot of it because you're trying to fill your
Mhm.
lack of abundance in your heart. You're trying to fill a lack of completion in your heart. And so when you have abundance in your heart, and when you can appreciate the moment, even the challenges of the moment, when you can appreciate the fact that you have air in your lungs, the fact that you're here another day, just one more day, the fact that you are able to experience challenges. Again, especially if you live in America, shut up. I mean, if you live in America, literally just shut up, man, because we have a day of the year dedicated to overindulging in food.
Mhm.
I mean, how many, we call the rest of the world a third world, but only a third of the world lives like us, right? I mean, people who are homeless in our culture, um, will probably have a better meal than most of the world, not only on that day, but for an entire month on Thanksgiving. And so, and so how we perceive this whole thing, how we perceive our abundance, um, like I said, it can't begin at your fingertips. It has to begin at your heart, and it overflows. It overflows to the things you experience on your fingertips.
Yeah, one of my favorite teachers talks about that, is that what we don't realize, especially as human beings, is that we live in abundance. Now, it may be an abundance of lack, maybe an abundance of negativity, maybe an abundance of stress, but we still live in abundance. You just get to choose what your flavor of abundance is. And so if your flavor of abundance is negativity and resistance to change and stress, well, you're still living in abundance. It's just a negative abundance. So we would hope as the madmen that we would can maybe promote or encourage you to change your mindset around your abundance so that maybe it can become an abundance of love, an abundance of finances, abundance of resources. I mean, abundance is really just a mindset. It's a shift in your mindset. You have abundance, but maybe your abundance is just you're focusing on lack or what you don't have versus what you do have. And like Kirk says, I mean, we're in the US, we have an abundance of everything, abundance of entertainment, abundance of food, abundance of material wealth. And so we tend to look at, I think a lot of it has come from social media and marketing, that we think we're less than because we don't have the newest thing. And we think we're missing out because we don't have so and so's car, so and so's house, or that jet, or that boat, or whatever. But we do live in abundance. We live in abundance absolutely in this country. And so it's up to you in this season of the holidays, the season of gratitude and feeling grateful, to look at your life and go, I have abundance. What is that abundance that I have in my life? How can I be grateful for it? And by doing that little bit of research and acknowledgement, you can utilize that mindset to make your life even better by just changing the mindset to gratitude. I'm grateful for the abundance I have in my life. Even if it's not the abundance I wanted, I can acknowledge that I am abundant, and I can now change that abundance to what I do want.
And again, this is a great time of year to appreciate that. This is a great time of year to reflect on that, and and one aspect of being thankful, one aspect of being aware of where we settled on right now, which is the word abundance, is to be thankful for the present, to be thankful for the moment, to be thankful for what you have, what you have had. um if I had the opportunity to to watch somebody go through the last couple of weeks of their life, and just watching him be thankful for the life that he had, watching him be thankful for his wife and his kids, and just be thankful for his relationships, his relationship with God, his relationship with everybody around him. And I mean, he had the opportunity to play college football. He had the opportunity to play professional football. I mean, he was just thankful for at least what he had, but he never lost the gratitude. He never lost the thankfulness. And so I hope that even that was a change. He was changing. He was transitioning from life to death, and in hospice. So it wasn't even like a maybe. Um, and so maybe if we manage our change in terms of our perspectives, if you look around and you can't think of anything in your life to be thankful for, which if you're watching this, that means you at least have a screen or something, some kind of phone or radio or something like that. I mean, and so you're probably not, living under a bridge, or you're probably not whatever. But man, for us to be thankful, man, is huge, man, for what we have. And even when what we have is change or transition or adversity or obstacles, they're all opportunities.
Yeah, it's time, and especially this time of year, to develop an attitude of gratitude for change, because we think we want things to be the same. We think we want stability, but I mean, even if you study Tony Robbins or a lot of psychology, we need both things. We need that dichotomy. We want to have an air of certainty. I want to feel certain that the roof's not going to fall in on my head so that I can sleep at night. But I also want to have an air or feeling of change, a feeling of uncertainty. Like, we go out and we play games because of the uncertainty. We don't know who's going to win or lose. We want the challenge. So it's having that dichotomy of certainty and uncertainty is in life. And even when we think about, those people who feel like or say they want things not to change. Well, even in like the movie Groundhog Day, where he's literally living the same day over and over again, each day he's doing something different, trying to save the old man. He's learning how to play the piano. He's learning ice sculpture. Like, that's just who we are as human beings. We're constantly growing and evolving. So change is a constant. So arguing with change is really insanity. Might as well be grateful for the changes in your life because they're going to happen anyway. And the more gratitude you have for those changes, the better you handle those changes. And the more you learn, the greater wisdom you get. And, the more skills and knowledge you develop. And you will become a better person in all areas of life by developing a little bit of gratitude for the changes that you have had.
Mhm. Yeah, man. And a lot of that is sometimes easier said than done. Um, it's worth talking about. It's worth bringing up because it's worth reminding ourselves. Um, it's worth reminding ourselves again, especially going into this time of year, whether it be Thanksgiving or the Christmas season and all these other kind of things, which is really a year long kind of thing. But still, this is a great time to focus on that. A week where us here in America, in theory, focus on gratitude and focus on being thankful. We really focus on food and stuff or whatever. But
Hey,
yeah, I mean, so I think it's a great topic.
yeah, I mean, we get to focus on the abundance that we have in this country and the abundance on our table and the abundance of friends and love and relationships we have. And hopefully, if you are able to have that abundance in your life, you will share it with somebody else who may have a little less, and you can share that attitude of gratitude and the abundance in your life. And we, as the Madmen, we want to thank you for once again watching and following along and being a part of the Madmen Mafia. And we are thankful for you. We are grateful for you. And as life changes happen, we're going to work on being as grateful as we can. But until next time, we, as the Madmen, are out.
Out.